Naoki Urasawa is considered by many as one of the greatest mangaka of all time, and it is mainly due to the fact that he has created so many top-notch manga series. Some of his most famous works include Monster, 20th Century Boys, and Pluto. All three manga series have garnered a lot of critical acclaim over the years. Sadly, the triad does not have the same level of popularity as some of the lower-quality manga series. The main reason behind their lack of fame is the absence of an anime adaptation. Out of the three, only Monster has received an anime adaptation, and it came out in 2004. However, it seems that things are about to change. On February 15, 2023, it was announced that Pluto will finally receive an anime adaptation, which will air exclusively on Netflix. Initially, no release date was announced, but recently it was confirmed that the anime will release in the fall of 2023. Talks of Pluto getting an anime adaptation go all the way back to 2017. During the Annecy International Animated Film Festival, it was stated that the manga would be adapted by Studio M2. However, it all went quiet for a few years. In 2022, Masao Maruyama, the founder of Studio M2, reassured fans that the studio was still working on the anime adaptation. So far, only a few details about the anime have been made public. Studio M2 is the animation studio, while Genko is producing the series. Studio M2 has handled only a few anime adaptations, and Pluto will be its biggest test to date. A trailer for the anime has also been released, and it is absolutely stunning. The animation looks exquisite, and it seems that Studio M2 is putting in a great deal of effort to ensure that the series does not flop. For the time being, there is no news pertaining to the number of episodes that the anime will have. There is no update about how Netflix is going to handle the anime. Considering how Netflix has dealt with anime adaptations in the past, it is fair to say that it might be split into many cores, but at the moment, it's all speculation. The sneak peek shows off the visuals from the series, which blend 2D characters and 3D CGI for objects and backgrounds. The clips, which have dialogue muted in favor of the background music, feature humanoid robot Inspector Gesicht. Gesicht is on the trail of a series of murders, which seem to be connected to the world's 7 great robots, some of which are advanced enough to become weapons of mass destruction. Clues from the scenes suggest that the murderer may in fact be a robot themselves. Perhaps the biggest question about anime for viewers is the story. Obviously, fans who have read the manga will need no introduction to the work of Naoki Urasawa. For those who are unaware, Pluto is actually based on Osamu Tezuka's Astro Boy, and reimagines a specific story arc from the series titled The Greatest Robot on Earth. In the original 1964 story, a foreign sultan creates a robot called Pluto, and orders it to challenge the 7 strongest robots on the planet to earn the title of King of All Robots. Astro Boy, or Atom, is on that hit list. But Pluto's Astro Boy, called Atom, isn't the same cheery robot found in Tezuka's comics. His distinctive hair spikes have been tamed, and he now wears a complete outfit rather than just black underwear and red boots. This more solemn take on a famous comic superhero fits with Pluto's overall tone. Tezuka's work has always been unusually thoughtful, with The Greatest Robot on Earth, questioning why people go to war and what true power means. Urasawa's adaptation blows those themes out into an entire series, and builds on ideas that have been ever-present in robot-centric and sci-fi media. When does artificial intelligence become too intelligent? Does the fact that robots were created by mankind invalidate the emotions they feel? Are their emotions real? Urasawa handles these age-old questions beautifully, building a grand story while still taking the time to flesh out small pieces of the world the action takes place in. He takes the time to explore each character's life, with chapters focusing on everything from a blind composer and his disbelief that a robot could ever play music with real heart, to robot wrestlers famed for their exploits in the ring, and a robot struggling with the question of whether erasing her memories of her murdered husband would make her happier than remembering him. Pluto follows the Europol robot detective Gesicht in his attempts to solve the case of a string of robot and human deaths around the world where all the victims have objects shoved into or positioned by their heads, imitating horns. The case becomes more puzzling when evidence suggests a robot is responsible for the murders, which would make it the first time a robot has killed a human in 8 years. All 7 of the great robots of the world, the most scientifically advanced which have the potential to become weapons of mass destruction, seem to be the killer's targets, and the murdered humans are connected to preserving the international robot laws which grant robots equal rights. On top of how rich the story is in its addressing of classic science fiction themes, Urasawa also grounds his narrative in more contemporary references. The conflict that directly predates the events of the manga is clearly a mirror of the Iraq War. And Urasawa's art is gorgeous throughout, so detailed in execution and cinematic in framing that it's almost surprising that none of the plans to adapt the manga as a live-action film or anime have yet come to fruition. But on that same token, what adaptation could ever live up to such a perfect work? Robots with feelings form a huge chunk of science fiction and are arguably the genre's most vital part, as real-life advancements with artificial technology mean that the questions posed in science fiction media aren't as far off into the future as one might think. Pluto stands above the rest in how thoughtfully, carefully, and compellingly it's executed. It's both a tribute to one of the greatest cartoon robots of all time and an essential entry into the robot story canon. The manga was serialized in Shogakukan's seinen manga magazine Big Comic Original from September 2003 to April 2009, with its chapters collected into 8 tankobon volumes. Pluto has sold over 8.5 million volumes and has won and been nominated for numerous awards. According to Anime News Network, Urasawa expressed his excitement about the upcoming adaptation, saying they applaud the courage of everyone that has taken on the challenge of making an anime based on Pluto. Nagasaki said, Pluto inherits the philosophy of Tezuka and does not merely convey a message of anti-war, but reminds us that there is suffering on both sides, but still, the only remaining answer is peace. Makoto Tezuka, who will supervise Pluto and is the son of the late Astro Boy mangaka Osamu Tezuka, added, I can hardly wait to see how this new generation of anime turns out. Despite being only 65 chapters, the plot gets really complex, constantly bombarding the reader with big names, twists, and events. Unfortunately, I found the ending a bit rushed, and that's probably the only criticism I have for the manga. I still like it better than Monster's ending though. This manga deserves way more recognition if you asked me. It has both a fast pace and a deep and complex story, which is quite an accomplishment. I seriously recommend it to anyone. This video is now coming to an end. If you like this type of content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for the amazing support. And if you have any ideas for future videos, please feel free to share them with us in the comments section. Well, that's it for today. Have a nice day, you all.